You see it in the movies. The silver screen is filled with images of incredible feats of martial prowess. A lone hero, outnumbered, facing impossible odds. They stand firm, ready to defend themselves, calmly dismantling attackers with flawless moves. Each strike, each block, perfectly executed. A symphony of controlled violence. The fantasy is seductive. It promises power, control, and the ability to protect yourself and others. Learn the right martial art, dedicate yourself to its practice, and you become untouchable. A master of self-defense, ready for anything. But real violence? It's chaos. A brutal, unpredictable storm of aggression. No choreography, no mats, no rules, just raw, desperate survival. The polished techniques of the dojo are a world away. Your attacker isn't a training partner. They aren't interested in a fair fight or a sporting contest. He's wild, unpredictable, maybe armed, driven by anger, fear, or something far more sinister. The idea that you'll pull off a perfect wrist lock in a street fight, that you'll have the time and space to execute a complex maneuver, that's a myth that can get you hurt, a dangerous delusion that could leave you vulnerable. Hapkido, a traditional Korean martial art, promises a complete self-defense system, a holistic approach to combat encompassing a wide range of techniques. Kicks, powerful and precise. Punches, delivered with speed and force. Throws, designed to disrupt balance and control. Joint locks to subdue and incapacitate. A comprehensive arsenal ready to be deployed. On paper, it looks like the answer to every threat, a perfect solution to any violent encounter. But can you really use these techniques? Can you rely on them when your life is on the line, when adrenaline is surging and fear takes over, when your senses are heightened and your mind is racing? We need to strip away the fantasy, the romanticized notions of martial arts mastery, and look at what actually works when it matters. What techniques are truly effective in the face of real danger? Does Hapkido prepare you for real violence, for the brutal reality of a street fight? Or is it just another beautiful illusion, a comforting myth that crumbles under pressure? Let's have an honest conversation, a frank and open discussion about self-defense, about what works, what doesn't, what's practical, and what's just wishful thinking, and why your training might not be what you think it is. Why the skills you've diligently practiced might fail you when you need them most. The truth starts here. Let's begin to unravel the myths and discover the realities of self-defense. So what exactly is Hapkido? It's a question that sparks curiosity and invites exploration. We often hear the name, see glimpses of its techniques, but rarely delve into its core essence. What makes Hapkido unique among the vast landscape of martial arts? What principles guide its practitioners, and what goals do they strive to achieve? At its heart, it's a Korean martial art, a discipline deeply rooted in Korean history and culture. It represents more than just a fighting style. It embodies a philosophy, a way of life that emphasizes harmony, balance, and self-improvement. But its story is woven from different threads, with roots in Japanese jujutsu, lending grappling and joint lock techniques, and Korean kicking arts, contributing dynamic and powerful strikes. This blend creates a diverse and adaptable system. The core philosophy? To blend with an attacker's energy, to meet force with yielding, and to find the path of least resistance. It's about understanding the flow of energy and using it to your advantage. The emphasis is on using leverage and technique, not brute force. It's not about overpowering your opponent with strength, but outsmarting them with skill and precision. This makes it accessible to people of all sizes and strengths. Hapkido, in its essence, means the way of coordinated energy. It's about harnessing your inner power and directing it with intention and control. It's a path towards self-mastery, both physically and mentally. The promise? What does Hapkido offer to those who dedicate themselves to its study? The core tenet is that a smaller person can effectively control a bigger attacker, neutralizing their size and strength advantage. This is achieved by skillfully redirecting force and exploiting weak points in the attacker's structure. It's about finding the vulnerabilities and using them to gain control. You're taught to move off the line of attack, disrupting the attacker's balance and momentum, and then apply joint locks with precision. The goal is to use pain compliance techniques to control or escape a dangerous situation, creating an opportunity to neutralize the threat. It's a strategic, almost scientific approach, meticulously documented and analyzed on paper. Every movement, every technique is broken down into its component parts. But here's the catch, the critical question that hangs over every martial art. Because in the controlled environment of the dojo, Attacks are often predictable, and training partners willingly cooperate, allowing for the smooth execution of techniques. However, in real life, violence is rarely choreographed. It's explosive, unpredictable, and messy. There are no rules, no referees, and no guarantees. Your attacker isn't giving you energy to redirect. They are not interested in a fair fight or a demonstration of skill. Instead, he's trying to hurt you, and he's trying to do it fast, with overwhelming force and aggression. So does this elegant theory, honed in the dojo, truly hold up when someone's actually trying to take your head off in a real-world confrontation? That's the real test of any martial art, its ability to perform under pressure in the face of genuine danger. Let's dig deeper, examine the techniques, and see how Hapkido stacks up against the harsh realities of self-defense. Hapkido, in its marketing, often presents itself as a complete and encompassing martial arts system, a one-stop shop for self-defense and personal development. It promises a diverse range of techniques and skills, making it an attractive option for those seeking a well-rounded martial arts education. Strikes, throws, joint locks, even weapons. From powerful kicks and punches to intricate grappling and weapon disarming, Hapkido aims to equip its practitioners with a versatile arsenal. It's the martial arts Swiss Army knife, a tool for every range and situation. Whether you're dealing with a close-quarters confrontation or need to defend yourself from a distance, Hapkido claims to have a solution. This adaptability is a key selling point for many students. The joint locks are the star, painful, technical, and based on leverage. They emphasize precision and control over raw strength, making them effective against larger or stronger opponents. The idea is control, not brute force. Hapkido teaches you to redirect an attacker's energy and use their momentum against them. It's an art that appeals to people who want to be smart fighters, not just brawlers. It attracts those who appreciate the intellectual and strategic aspects of combat. Weapons training adds to the allure: canes, sticks, belts, turning everyday objects into tools of defense. This focus on adaptability extends beyond traditional weapons, encouraging practitioners to think creatively about their surroundings. On paper, it's the ultimate self-defense package, a complete system designed to address a wide range of threats. But the real question isn't what's in the curriculum. It's whether you can actually use it when it counts. The effectiveness of any martial art hinges on its practical application. Does this total package work outside the dojo? Or is it just a collection of cool moves that fall apart under pressure? Can these techniques be reliably executed when adrenaline is pumping and the stakes are high? The answer depends on how you train, the quality of instruction, the intensity of sparring, and the focus on realistic scenarios all play a crucial role. Let's look at where theory meets reality. We need to examine how Hapkido's principles translate into practical self-defense skills. You've drilled Hapkido techniques 1,000 times, but in a real confrontation, nothing goes as planned. Your attacker isn't following the script. He's wild, aggressive, and non-compliant. In training, your partner lets you apply the lock. In real life, he's fighting, flailing, maybe biting. Complex, multi-step techniques are nearly impossible to pull off when adrenaline floods your system. Fine motor skills vanish. You're left with basic, gross movements. This is the core criticism. Too much compliant, choreographed training builds false confidence. Real violence is unpredictable. If your training doesn't account for chaos, you're unprepared. Pressure, fear, and resistance expose the limits of traditional patterns. The gap between the dojo and the street is real and dangerous. If you want to survive, your training must reflect reality. Anything less is just a dance. The solution? Pressure testing, training against real resistance. Arts like BJJ, wrestling, and MMA thrive on this. From day one, you spar with partners who fight back. You learn fast what works and what doesn't. Legit Hapkido schools do the same. Live drills, protective gear, real intent. This builds not just skill but mental toughness. You learn to think under stress, to adapt when your first move fails. The mindset you develop is more important than any single technique. True self-defense is about awareness, avoidance, and de-escalation, fighting only as a last resort. Good training puts you in tough, unfair scenarios to prepare you for the chaos of real violence. If your school isn't doing this, you're not learning self-defense. You're learning choreography. Weapon defense is where fantasy gets dangerous. Many schools teach slick knife disarms, but real knife attacks are brutal and fast. If someone's close enough to stab you, you're probably getting cut. The myth of the clean disarm is deadly. The real goal, survive and escape, not win the weapon. Focus on creating distance, disrupting the attack, and running. Honest instructors show how hard it is to defend against a knife, using drills that leave you marked up and humbled. Avoid anyone selling invincibility. Survival, not heroics, is the only real answer. Anything else is a dangerous lie. The art matters less than the instructor and the school. Some Hapkido schools are McDojos selling belts, not skills. Others are legit, with instructors who cross-train, pressure test, and teach reality. Watch a class. Do students spar? Do they train against resistance? Ask tough questions about pressure testing and failure. Good instructors welcome scrutiny and encourage cross-training. Look for humility, honesty, and a culture of continuous learning. Avoid anyone promising secrets or guaranteed victory. Real martial artists know there are no guarantees. Choose your teacher wisely. Your safety depends on it. The most important self-defense tool, your brain. Situational awareness beats any technique. Pay attention, avoid bad situations, and don't let ego drag you into fights. The best self-defense is not being there when trouble starts. Good programs teach awareness, de-escalation, and managing fear. Mindset matters, the will to survive, not to win. Real training prepares your mind as much as your body. If your art isn't teaching you to think, it's failing you. Techniques are last resorts. The real victory is never needing them. So, is Hapkido legit? It depends. The art has effective concepts, leverage, joint locks, redirection. But it also has complex moves that fail under real pressure. The difference is in how it's taught. Schools that pressure test, spar, and teach reality can make Hapkido effective. Schools that rely on compliant drills and fantasy are dangerous. Don't settle for hype. Do your homework. Find instructors who value honesty, pressure, and humility. The best martial art is the one that prepares you for reality, not fantasy. Your safety is worth nothing less.